What's going on, guys? Matt Manduke here, and this is the flight of Rosebud, Montana. I actually did this flight a couple weeks ago, and I've been too lazy to do this aspect of it. But I stopped here for a lunch break, and it wasn't very windy, so I was able to fly. I walked Casper first, and I checked out the area, and I thought, it was an amazing view. This is the Yellowstone River that we're looking at, and the interstates in Montana, you drive over the Yellowstone River multiple times. The Yellowstone River itself is gorgeous in almost all aspects, but I don't get a whole lot of opportunities like this one to fly over it, so that's what I did. I thought it was pretty amazing that the railroad track runs right alongside the river there. God forbid it ever floods when the train's going through, but it probably doesn't flood very often. The beaches are as high as they are when the snow melts. That's as high as the water goes, and it's all been figured out many years ago, I guess. I don't know. If they ever got a horrible rainstorm, I guess we'd find out, and hopefully I won't be there during that time. I'm in Georgia now, but I wasn't here when the storm was coming through last week, Hurricane Ida, and I was in New Jersey the other day, and that was after the storm came through. It was actually closer to the storm in New Jersey. But the effects of that were mostly that it flooded 676, and that was a pain in the ass. But I complained about that in the video that you watched last week, so I shouldn't be bitching about it now still. It's just more recent than this actual video is. As you can see, it is an overcast day, and I do prefer to fly on sunny days, but I don't get a whole lot of opportunities to show the beauty that is Montana, and the fact that it's overcast but not windy. The wind is the main reason why I don't post as many of these, is because lately it has been actually windy, and I want to fly, but I can't fly if it's windy because I don't want to lose my $2,000 drone. And I'm not ready to update it anyway, because the new ones, they have smaller ones that are more portable, but the batteries are smaller, so they don't go as far. They don't have the zoom feature that I'm using right now to show you the beach on the other side of the river. And I'm getting nervous with going distance here. I don't know why, because in other videos I can go a lot further, but usually about 2,000 feet is where I start getting nervous about it, because that's when it starts telling me stuff, and it depends a lot on the landscape. Here there's more rock than there was in Georgia, so I can't go as far because signal doesn't go through rock as well as it does through air, clearly, right? And so here I'm actually flying lower than where I'm standing, whereas in most cases I'm flying way above it, and it's more of a direct line. It doesn't have to go around anything. But I found that sandbar there to be very interesting, and the way it drags out from the tree. You can kind of see how the water did that and why it happened that way. I think that's probably why there's so much fly fishing going on here, because there is a lot of sandbars and stuff like this where you could stand in a foot or so of water, and the river isn't very deep, and you can do your fishing from it. And I always think about fly fishing when I see the Yellowstone River. Like I said, I don't get very many opportunities like this one, so I had to cash in on it while I could. And that is, I believe, an island there, which I don't think it's inhabited in any way, but I mean, there might be animals. There probably is. Anything that can swim could get there, and it probably wasn't always an island, because erosion does work that way. And it might not always be. It might actually get more shallow and easier to walk through in later months, especially in the winter, because the winter is the dry season and almost everywhere. I mean, it snows, but then the snow turns to ice in Montana, and you can't, it's not going to go down river and melt like it does if it rains in the summertime. Erosion and all that stuff all happens when it's not ice. But at this point I am working on getting back to the truck. I'm focusing in, I'm looking at the railroad track and looking at, it is a beautiful rest area. I have to give them that, and I want to thank Montana for making a rest area there so that I could have this flight, but also so I can see such things. And even though it is more beautiful during, when it's sunny, and there's been a lot of situations with Oregon and Idaho and Montana and Wyoming where I want to fly but I can't because it's windy, or if it's raining I'm not going to fly in the rain either. But that's how all of that works. And you can see my truck back there, and there's maybe parking for 10 or 11 trucks, something like that. The Montana rest areas also tend to give a dog area, like where they fence it in so you can let them off the leash and play. Casper doesn't need a leash anyway, but and that's what most places, if we're there for long periods of time, I let him off the leash so he can run and play and get some exercise, because that's good for him. It's good for me too, because I gotta chase him down. Now he comes when he's called. He's a good dog about that stuff. But here I didn't want to let him loose because he does stumble sometimes, and I catch him stumbling. He's not as sure-footed as some other dogs, and I wouldn't want him to like fall off, or like slip and go down the hill or any of that stuff. I'd have to go rescue him, and he's a 50-pound dog that I don't want to carry up a hill. If I can help it, I carry him more than I should anyway, but he's a little pussy when it comes to stepping on things. Anyway, guys, I am working on getting back to the truck, and you can see me there with the red shirt on. I'm kind of showing the hill that I'm talking about. I didn't want Casper to fall off, and there is like a little trail that goes down there. He'd probably like wander down there because he knows I like to explore that kind of stuff, but I don't want to do it while he's on the leash, because then if he's on the leash, then he's pulling me to go in places that I don't want to go, and that does work out to be pretty bad. Not sure what I'm looking at here, other than it is a gorgeous view. I might just be working on, like I am trying to find the drone so I can visually bring it in. That way I can be more accurate, and it's a skill that I'm working on that I haven't perfected, because the entire time that I've been flying drones I've just go way up and then look down, whereas now I'm trying to be a little bit more accurate with it so I can give you more detailed and more intricate views, and maybe actually do some other things. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. You know I wouldn't do this without you. I'll see all my friends in my next video. See my bald spot there?